Hello everybody, San here, engineer, MBA, and investor. And in today's video, I want to talk about Moderna's latest news about them potentially acquiring genome editing companies, or more specifically, acquiring technology from an existing genome editing companies. I want to talk all about that. So Moderna, we sort of covered it last week. I believe it was actually last Sunday. We sort of covered this company because they're a huge player in the biotech industry, right? Everybody at this point, 2021, if you're watching this video in this beautiful Sunday, 15 August, you probably and most likely know about Moderna through the COVID-19 vaccines, right? What people don't realize is that they're sort of setting up to be a platform of numerous of mRNA drugs, type of drugs, right? What that means is that on top of COVID-19 vaccine, which I think many of us sort of expect to sort of dim down, right? You can't just be expecting the same type of vaccine to be injected in you for for years and years to come. But what you can expect is vaccine perhaps for COVID-20, COVID-21, COVID-22 and 2, for biosecurity, right? That's one of the popular terms used at Ginkgo Bioworks, which is a different company. The CEO, Josh Kelly, he talked a lot about biosecurity, right? He talks a lot about how being proactive rather than reactive, right? What if we actually inject ourselves vaccines or sort of biosecurity type of approach, that so that in the future we don't get these types of pandemics that just ramp our population, shut down our businesses, shut down our economies. I think it's an amazing concept. I really do believe it will happen. I mean, in some ways, COVID-19 was sort of some sort of biosecurity as well, right? But it is what it is. We were still reactive in that example, but we believe that it is possible that in the future we may be looking at proactive approach. Now, Moderna, obviously huge company, worth well over in the three digits $1 billion. Although they had a 20% decline in that single day that we covered in this channel earlier this week, they've still sort of rebound a little bit, and I do believe there'll be some decline to be had. People will be taking some profit out the table. It just makes sense for this huge run up they had. But what really is propelling this company right now, a lot of people are talking about it, especially in the space, in the biotech space, is that they are looking at new M&A strategies, which is mergers and acquisition strategies. They're looking at deals, they're looking at partnerships. Just makes sense, right? This company is really big right now. They've gotten the momentum. The governments, not just in US but around the world, have granted them access to not just resources but to different networks that they were never granted in the past. Right before the pandemic, Moderna was barely known in the world, and now they're literally talked about in every household. Biotech is taken seriously in 2021. Not just this company, but this company is definitely big. It is definitely a big household name right now. What is important to know is that as you grow this big, as you grow the way they've been growing, as you grow the cash pile that you have, expectations start hitting you up, right? Media starts hitting you up. You have different shareholders starting asking you, hey, what's the next thing here? Are you a one trick pony, or do you have something else under your sleeves, right? This is just the basic of business, right? And Moderna here has been sort of rumored to be looking in genome editing, right? There's other articles about this. So this article is on Business Insider. This was the latest article, but there's other articles of them looking into it. I believe they made a mention about it in their earnings call last week. So this is it's not just rumors. It is definitely something that's been happening. What is rumors is what company will they actually invest in, right? Or partner with, right? In some way, it is a sort of investment, right? I can guarantee you, whichever genome editing company it is, whether that's Beam Therapeutics, Caribou Biosciences, Editas, Antilia, CRISPR Therapeutics, doesn't matter which company it is. Whatever company that Moderna selects to partner up or use or license their technology from, right? Basically pay a fee for future sales and so on. I guarantee you that company will have at least a 15 to 25% increase in a single day. I guarantee you that. This is not just me speculating. I know this for a fact, because if Antilia can go up for one phase of data on in vivo approach by 50% in a single day. I guarantee you that a company like Moderna, basically the most popular company in the biotech space right now, one of the most popular companies in the world, literally saving people's lives, will definitely propel whichever company they invest in to go at least 15 to 20% in valuation in a single day. And on top of that, guys, on top of that, the whole space will blow up, right? Positively. Maybe if they select, for example, Caribou Biosciences, maybe Beam Therapeutics will not go up that much that Caribou Biosciences will, but I guarantee you everyone will have at least a green day, and that is amazing for the genome editing space, especially early investors that have been waiting for this, that have been waiting for these big partnerships. We already have huge big pharma companies partnering up, but it's sort of been under the radar, right? These partnerships are not really announced, not a lot of people know about it, but this is the first time that everyone is really looking into it. That's exactly why we're making this video, is because this is big news, right? And now the CEO of Moderna said, um, if if any um, if M&A makes sense, we will do it, but we'll be careful about the value. People should not conclude we are going to buy a gene editing company, because if I had to bet, most likely we're not going to do that. Totally makes sense to me. Just a little bit of experience in that background, not obviously about Moderna, but just an experience with M&As. M&As are really big, guys. You know, acquiring company is no easy feat, not just in terms of legal things, and not just in terms of financials and everything to do with money, but more about the culture fit, more about the mission statement, more about the beliefs, the values. There's so much to be had, because don't forget, guys, if a Moderna, like a company, acquires a company like, for example, Repair Therapeutics, or they buy a company straight up like Editas, although they can do it financially, although it may make sense in terms of pricing and so on, will the culture fit? All these employees, they're now Moderna employees, right? How do they factor that, and how do they explain to their existing shareholders in Moderna that this move is for the best? So, I mean, there's so much things there. That's why I'm not surprised by that statement from the CEO. But they did say that was the August 5th earnings call, which is what I was referencing earlier. And there's a nice sentence here saying there's a natural overlap between biotech focus on messenger RNA technology and gene editing. The leading editing programs are delivering CRISPR therapeutics using mRNA delivered in tiny blob of fat called lipid nanoparticles. That's the same approach used by Moderna's corona vaccine. Moderna is sitting on a rapidly growing cash thanks to its coronavirus, which the company expects to be $20 billion in sales in 2021. At the end of June, the company reported $12.2 billion in cash. This is a huge amount of money, guys. They can literally buy a few CRISPR companies, including CRISPR Therapeutics, if they wanted to. But there's some speculation. Scribe Therapeutics, Arbor Biotechnologies here, some reference to that. Obviously, they go into the whole description of CRISPR and just in general, the history of it. And obviously, given the value of those companies compared to what's in there, we believe we may be better off licensing a newer enzyme and doing it ourselves, where we capture most of the values. And I also expect them to do that as a platform of drugs, as a platform of company with actual experience, not just with the actual biotech side of things, the actual human health, but also with regulators and and like I said, they have huge support right now. The Canadian government gave, literally, they gave, I think it was earlier this week, it was announced that they gave a deal to Moderna to have their first international manufacturing facility in Canada. I think it's around Toronto. I believe it's in Ontario. But this is breaking news, right? The governments are supporting this company. They have the momentum. Just doesn't make sense for them to just, straight up use that cash just to buy a company. And I actually think they have the momentum, they have the technology behind it, and they have, not just the media presence, but also government support. I think if they snap their fingers, they can make it happen. It's not a question of money at this point. I think it's more a question of, becoming a platform of drugs where they can own most of the value, because I can guarantee you guys, if they're able to deliver a drug, FDA approval will come much faster for a company like Moderna. Like I said, have the support of the public. They've been approved for their vaccines. They have great technologies in terms of licensing their mRNA technology to a company like AstraZeneca, obviously. So they definitely have support. We'll see what happens. A couple of remarks here from Twitter. Just wanted to go a little bit about what the community is saying here. CRISPR Research Twitter handle, they said Moderna is interested in licensing new enzyme for genome editing. So there's Caribou Biosciences being thrown there as biosciences. They have many patents, guys. They have over 40 patents in the U.S., hundreds internationally. I believe they're the only company who issues CRISPR in all fields, right? Not just in human therapeutics, but also in agriculture, livestock, animals, plants, and so on, vegetation. Their last deals include Antilia, which is the most valuable company in the genome editing space right now, and of course with AbbVie, right? A huge big pharma company. We've talked about it in previous videos, so this shouldn't be anything new. So AbbVie will use the Caribou Biosciences next generation Cas12a CRISPR hybrid RNA DNA genome editing technology, which is basically Chardonnay's RDNA technology. And with all this portfolio of companies they invested with in terms of partnerships, so that's including Antilia, but also Novartis, huge big pharma company there. Genos, right, huge player in the agriculture field. To me, there is a lot of potential that Caribou Biosciences may be the one selected for Moderna. Again, it is still speculation. We don't have concrete details. It is still something we want to look out for, but I want to provide you guys as much information as we can. And then Nat Taruni here, which we've mentioned this channel many of times, he sort of speculated from the article we just covered that this may be a Editas play, right? Editas, a company that we have not had much chance to cover in this channel. Unfortunately, when this channel was sort of created, they were sort of in their slump, unstable leadership, but Editas as a company is back on track. Their leadership is back on track. I've seen some good comments about the CEO. I think things are looking good for a company like Editas, especially my viewers. A lot of people have been asking me what I think about Editas. I really do think Editas has a play here, and I can guarantee you if they get this partnership with Moderna, Editas will be the most valuable genome editing company almost overnight. I can almost guarantee you this is bound to happen. Maybe not overnight, maybe it'll take some days, some trading days, but some comments here, some people are saying they will want to control the company. Editas won't sell for current market cap. And then Aruni said, well, why not just license the CAS, right? Which is exactly what the CEO of Moderna is looking to do. Lots of Cambridge ties for both. This is really important, guy. Networking, we all know how important it is. Founders of Editas have connections with the company that brought Moderna to public. Not that it means a deal, but they all know each other. So you guys know how. I mean, I don't have to explain to you guys. Maybe you may have the best tech, but if you don't know the people, if the networking is not there, making a deal with people will be very hard. Ultimately, you're dealing with humans in Moderna. They're humans. They're people with emotions and feelings, and ultimately the culture has to fit. And Editas seems to have a play here. So very interesting to see here. Tommy said making Nikkeis and slamming with DMNEs on there. And then another commenter said if Editas have positive trial results for what they have in the pipeline, it will be more valuable than Moderna in the next few years. We actually believe in this channel that these companies, not just Editas obviously, but CRISPR Therapeutics, Antilia, Caribou Biosciences, Bain Therapeutics, Verve Therapeutics, Draft Bio, and all these genome editing companies, we believe that regardless whether they're using their first generation CRISPR or second generation or proprietary technology like Caribou Biosciences, we believe that in the upcoming years, if data comes in positive, if ultimately CTX001 from CRISPR Therapeutics can get FDA approved in the upcoming years, hopefully in 2022, that's my speculation, not financial advice. But if they can get FDA approved, get a few CRISPR drugs out there, and get these huge partnerships to be built up, to be licensed out, I strongly believe these companies will be worth just as much as Moderna, right? Moderna's worth well over 150 billion. I believe this last valuation from I can just Google it, but $160 billion market cap. I strongly believe these companies can be worth 100x from their current valuation. That's about that 160 billion you saw for some of these companies. I strongly believe it is possible. I strongly believe it can be done. But will it be done? It's all about execution, all about leadership, it's all about partnerships, it's all about licensing deals, it's all about that data, guys. Ultimately, it comes down, boils down to data. Data has to keep being positive. Companies like Crypto Therapeutics have to keep those discussions with regulators and the FDA. Really important. Get those deals out, get that FDA approved CRISPR drug out there, and you will see investors pouring their money into it in the biotech space. And people that were never involved in biotech or genomics and genome editing specifically, companies like investors in the SaaS industry or in technology, like big tech companies, will definitely, those investors will pour their money into it. That's just what I'm expecting. That's just speculation. It's not financial advice. You guys have to do your own research. So I'm looking forward for this news, guys. I have my eyes on this news. I really want to see what Moderna decides here. We know they're looking into it, but what they end up announcing, we'll know in the following weeks, potentially even months. These things take time. Let's give them time. I'll cover it for sure in this channel. Let me know what you guys think. Which company Moderna will partner up with? Maybe it'll be a multiple of companies, right? May not just be one particular company. Leave me comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Curious to see what you guys are thinking. Beautiful Sunday out there. Had a beautiful weekend so far. It's really sunny. Hopefully you guys are having a beautiful Sunday as well. Get some sunshine, guys. Like I said, keep saying it's really important to get some sunshine there. It's beautiful. Get some walks in, do some exercise. Really feels good. Um, so I'll finish my cup of coffee here. So hopefully you guys have a beautiful Sunday. Let me know what you guys think. Like this video, found value. Subscribe if you haven't. Really helps the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you.